Hello, this is Dave Brady again looking at hyperlinks analog and the summing amplifier with the focus on EasyWave, the waveform viewing and analysis capability that's built in. In the previous example, I showed you how to take your input waveforms and calculate your ideal waveform. And on this one, I want to show you something a little bit different. So now we have not only our ideal waveform, but we've calculated our error waveform. So every time we have a positive value, we know that an error occurred between the ideal signal and the realized signal. And in this case, what we're seeing is clipping due to the real voltages of the operational amplifier. So now let's categorize our errors. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the waveform calculator again. Only this time I'm going to use a histogram, which is under the statistical menu. So press histogram. Now let's drag and drop our waveform in. Alright, so our maximum value, we can look at this 7.5, so I'm going to just go ahead and call it 10. And now we can go ahead and apply, and it'll generate a histogram for us. So let's get out of that. And so we've gone through here and we've categorized our errors. Now, I realize in this example the histogram isn't so meaningful, but it gives you a good indication of the magnitude of your errors. Most of our errors, so our errors that are around 7 volt, obviously we don't have very many of those. Our errors in the zero, so where they're perfectly aligned, we have high correlation. So we can see that the number of errors that we have across the entire design. So let's go ahead and stack our waveforms. By the way, there's multiple ways of doing that, right? So it's completely your choice. So we've got good correlation for most of the design. It does tell me though in this specific example, if I'm looking for this design to operate across the full spectrum of these input waveforms, that in the real world I would have trouble. So I would need to decide how I was going to deal with that in the circuit. And again, this is just a quick example of how you can use hyperlinks analog to quickly evaluate the topology or design and understand how it's going to operate in the real world. And this waveform calculator, it's not an added expense, it's just built in. Really does provide additional power to make all of this just so easy. And as I pointed out, it's all drag and drop easy. So thank you very much for your time and thanks for paying attention.